What's up, guys? My name is Peter. I'm from Utah. I'm excited to be here today to do the Wahl editions. I'm so excited to do these 3 haircuts for you, and I hope you guys enjoy the video. Let's go. All right, so this is my first model. His name is Brian, and I'm gonna be doing the taper on him. Now, the taper is one of the most popular haircuts out there, and today I'm gonna show you step by step on how to do that today, okay? So the first thing I wanna do is comb it to its natural lay, you guys can say. I want to make sure that I'm going to start sectioning it off from the cowlick down to the forehead. Perfect. So like I said about sectioning, and this is from a class that I learned this concept, is you don't want to do a symmetrical section on a asymmetrical head. Rather than you want to do an asymmetrical section on an asymmetrical head so it comes out symmetrical. So the first thing I want to do is debulk. Obviously he has a lot of hair right now, so we want to debulk. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get my Wahl seniors, and these are honestly probably my favorite clippers right now. First thing I want to do is grab a number 2 guard, and I want to go all the way up to the top, kind of where this heaviness starts to start off. My technique and when doing fades is to fade down. I've always stuck with this technique because I love it. It keeps me organized, it keeps me on task, and it makes me move faster. So what I'm gonna do now after I did the number 2 guard is take my 1.5 and I'm gonna take it up to the 2 and blend it into the number 2. Now, the way I fade, and I'm sure you guys have seen it in my past videos, maybe last year's and last year's audition, but I actually fade a little bit different. And this is where I do a little bit different, is I actually move my hand. Instead of holding the clippers here, I'll actually shift my hand over to the lever, and I'll put my front finger here just so I have better control. And when I fade up, I'll start to move the lever down as I'm fading up into the higher guard. Then when I pull out, I'll reset and go back in there, use the lever technique again, and do that all the way around. Now the last guard I'm gonna use is my half guard. Now, since every head is different, you gotta work and accommodate to every head. I'm gonna be using my magic clips only because this has a staggered tooth, meaning it's gonna be a little bit softer when trying to blend in the skin to the half guard, and that's why I'm using it right now. Awesome, now I'm gonna move on to my Wahl detailers. Man, these guys are awesome because of the shape of the blade. It's T-outline, meaning it works so well with small spaces, and that's what I love about it. It keeps it crispy, keeps it nice, and that's why I love using the detailers. Now with the next step of this haircut is working on the parietal ridge, or the crown area you can call it. I'm going to be using a wide tooth comb because it covers more ground. It gives me more of a platform to use my clippers. I'm going to be lifting the hair up with the comb, and you can see because of the color of the comb is different, you can see the hairs that I'm going to be cutting off. So I'll turn on my clippers and I just swipe. And remember, when doing the side of the hair, you got to think of elevation, right? Elevation is the way we hold the hair, how high and how low we hold it. So the higher you hold the hair, the softer it's going to fall. Awesome. Now we're going to be working on the top of the head. Obviously, you can see the asymmetrical shape. We took the clips out. I'm going to mist it again just so I can have better control with my comb, but not too much because wet hair can lie to you. So be aware of that. You don't want to make it damp. The goal is to keep and conserve length there. Trust me when I say that's gonna pay off at the end. And then the smaller the section that you take up, the better, because that is truly keeping the hair extremely balanced. Now that we have everything balanced this way, now we have to start blending it to the side this way. And that's the peak that we're looking for. We'll spray it just a little bit. That I dropped the clip. Now what I want to do is finish, obviously, the traveling guide that we created here, and we're going to start working this way. This is the final haircut, you guys. This is a low to medium fade taper on my client today. I really hope you guys like this video. I really hope you guys like this haircut, and we'll show you the next haircuts right now. Awesome, we're back for the second haircut. Right now we're gonna do the creative cut. Now when it comes to creativity, honestly, I never come in with a set plan. I always try to figure out what fits them, what fits their style, their personality, and then that's how I base my haircuts, especially the creative ones, off that. Perfect. This is the before. She likes it slick back. Awesome. So I just combed everything to its natural position. So remember, find the cowlick, see which way the cowlick is pushing the hair. Okay, awesome. So I'm just combing it down, seeing what looks natural, what looks good, what doesn't look forced. And that's what we're trying to do. And obviously you guys can see some heaviness right here. So that's where we're gonna start bending the sides to the top already. Again, you can do whatever you like. So I'm actually gonna get my highest guard first actually. And I'm gonna get probably like a number 2 guard, just fade it in, and then we're gonna see some more heaviness, and then we're gonna try to blend that right away before we start working on the side. Remember, fading up, down. So like I said, I'm gonna get my number 2 guard. I'm using my Wahl seniors, and I'm gonna be fading it up very top. Now, when it comes to the guards, remember, you have to see 2 different faces. So this I like to call surgical, meaning it's true to its number, it's close to whatever it is. That's more of a taper blend. So when I'm going up to the very top, I'm going surgical to the taper. Does that make sense? So I'm gonna be doing that to the very top, surgical, tapering it out. So I'm gonna do this line here, and I'm gonna bring it out so then it's nice and smooth. So I wanna kinda create this peak somehow, getting it darker by bringing attention to here. Now when the fade starts up here and we put in attention up here, you're gonna be surprised at how much darker this will look when this is lighter. Because I like to fade in the opposite direction, I'm gonna start in the opposite direction as well. So I'll do my 1.5 here, my 1, my half, and then blend it into that line. Comb here, and just nice and easy start blending it. Awesome, now I'm gonna bring out my 5-star finale shavers. So I'm gonna be using this because I wanna get it as close to the skin that I possibly can. Now the thing I wanted to show you guys is how you can use the shavers in a different way. I'm gonna turn it on and just going down just like this, and don't be scared going over this because you won't cut it off. First, what I want to do is bring everything down by kind of elevating it all the way down, and then seeing what is balanced and what is unbalanced. You can see that I have a small little peak. All I'm going to do, turn on my clippers, go straight across. Now that I want to add some texture, how you do it is, remember, take small sections. All you're going to do is just chip at it by turning on your clippers, and instead of coming straight in, that's gonna be too light. I want it more dramatic, so I'm actually gonna tilt it more, so we're gonna hit it more at a diagonal. Okay, so we are gonna keep some length here, and we are gonna keep some length here. Because I don't want it exactly balanced, so this is what we're talking about. the fade exactly the same. The two kind of accent pieces exactly the same. That's where I want to go a little bit different. This is where I want to go maybe short here, maybe medium on this side, and maybe very long on this side. That's gonna throw it off, making it asymmetrical. So because the line is coming like this, we actually want to complement it just by doing that. So does that make sense? Is clipper coming here and cut this accent off just so it flows. What this spray will do is going to add grit to when we blow dry it completely. Grab some paste that's going to complement the finish that you want. In this case, I'm using some dry finish, a matte finish, because that's the look that I'm looking for. I don't want shine. I'm going to put it all the way in there. This is the final look. Here's the finish. I hope you guys enjoy, and let's move on to the next haircut. All right, guys, we're on to our third haircut of today. Today, we're gonna be working on the Afro haircut. Really what the goal is just working with the texture of the hair. What kind of texture does he have and how we can shape it up to what we're trying to create. And then with our pick, we're gonna be able to get it out any knots easier. You can see how it's just going nice and easy. So as artists, what we have to understand is head shapes and how to diagram the head shape so we can complement the haircut to the head shape that he has. So you guys can see from the side views, side profile, is he has some building contour here. Building contour, what it is when it comes out this way. Kind of like Jimmy Neutron. You guys know Jimmy Neutron? That guy has a building contour. Then there's a natural contour coming straight up and down, floor to ceiling. And that's what we want to complement with the flat top, is coming straight up and down. But if we take it to in, now we're building what's called a leaning contour. So with our clippers, the first thing we want to do is come straight down. Make sense? So what I want to do first is grab my number 2 guard. So now I'm coming up with the grain with my 1.5 guard. Now that I already debulked the area that I wanted to. So go. So the line that I want to create is this line straight to that line that we saw in the back, what the hair is trying to tell me. The last guard I'm going to be using is my half guard now. Before I use it with no guards, I'll be doing the same thing, same movements all around, and let's get it going. Guard, I'm doing it all over right here. Now with no guard, I'm going to be fading it in. You can still keep these long if you want, it doesn't really matter. I'm going to shape it into the half guard using the lever technique. So what we're going to do is be using the detailers, and we're just going to take it right off, and it should blend immediately right into the Clipper Zero. The final tool I'm going to be using for the fade is, of course, the 5-star finale. Awesome, so now that I'm gonna be working on the top, I wanna again pick it out one more time, making sure everything's picked out nice and up. I don't know if you guys can see from the side how it builds out just a little bit right here. These are the hairs that we want to steadily kind of come up and down with our clippers. Now this can be the hardest and scariest part because your hand has to be steady, it has to be consistent, because the second you go in, you're going to create a hole, or if you go too much out, you're too scared about it, like you might again create that building contour that we don't want to create. So again, you're gonna start here and you're gonna go straight up, just nice and soft. The last step of this haircut before we move on to our products is the front lineup. This is the most important part because this is what the client or the customer always sees every single day. This is what makes them feel good, this is what makes them feel bad. So that's why we want to make sure we're going to keep it nice, crispy, and natural. Remember, so what we're going to do is we're actually going to lift the hair up and comb everything down, the small little hairs that we're going to turn into the lineup. I like to start in the middle because that's going to be my guide for the rest of the haircut on the sides, the left and right side. Now that I'm done with the haircut, I'm done with the top, I'm going to seal the deal with using a little bit of hairspray, spraying it all over. Again, not too much. We don't want him walking out with a rock on top of his head. You guys, so this is the final look. Finale's up top, and there you go, you guys. I hope you guys enjoyed the video again, and yeah, hopefully this turned out good. Thank you guys.